This is everything you're going to need to make one of those taser gloves. You need a hot glue gun, one stick, not even going to use it all. Light switch, toggle switch is better. These contacts right here, one taser, mini screwdriver, lighter, your base glove. This is I got this at Walmart. It was $3 for a pack of $3 for 3. Left and right hands. I only use the right for single taser gloves. Wire. I'm using power cords, electrical tape, multi-tool, volt detector, plastic dip. Got that at Home Depot. And then your outer gloves. What people are going to be seeing. All right. Okay, so first gonna start with the taser. We're gonna need the mini screwdriver and the lighter. These holes here, you won't need the lighter if you have a screwdriver that's small enough to fit in the holes, but this is slightly too big to reach the screw that's inside there. So I'm gonna heat up the the bit, and basically press it into the hole, melting the plastic around the bit itself, making it able to reach, just to get it open. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And all I'm doing is just holding the flame underneath the bit so that the bit gets hot enough to melt the plastic. Really won't take much at all. Alright. Now press it into the hole. You can see the plastic melting around it. I'll just start unscrewing the screw that's inside of there. It's a long screw, it goes through the entire taser, so let's see. Pretty sure I got it. Here moving around. Yeah, these screws usually give me a hard time. It doesn't help that my bit is slightly too big, so I'm gonna pause the video for a little bit, trying to get the screw out. I'll start it again once it's out. Be right back. Alright, so I wasn't able to get all the screws out. They're actually all still in there. This last one over here didn't want to come out at all. I guess it got stripped when it was put in because I wasn't applying very much force to it. But with all of them out, or up, so that the two pieces aren't connected anymore, I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart. You can see the screws there. They'll probably come out now. Yep, there's one. Doesn't matter about the other ones. Alright. The real trick is, I know something's going to break in here when I'm trying to take this one apart, which is okay. At the very end, we're going to plastic dip the whole entire thing to cover up the parts that we're actually going to be taking out. So 1 second, I'll be right back while I get this open the rest of the way. Alright, got it apart. It broke where I actually wanted it to, at the, let's see, right there. You can see screws actually, still in there, or actually no, it's gone. No, yeah, it's still in there, my fault. Other screws are still in the other piece. Got a screw right there, and a screw right there, and then I put the other screw that I took out right there, just to keep it together. Alright, now comes the fun part. This is the inside of the taser. What we're going to be bypassing and taking out are the button there to engage the taser, and the on and off switch. So it'll be armed when you flip the light switch over here. We're going to wire it into the back of this, and it'll control the on and off. There won't be any buttons to press. It's just once you flip the switch, it's active and it's ready to go. Right. Let's see. Gonna need my multi-tool. I have needle nose pliers in here, along with scissors and some other things. Let's see here. All right. So actually, first I'm gonna take off the top contacts where it normally would make contact with when the taser is turned on. Let's see these screws. Not out yet, almost. Alright, there we go. There's one. Time for a second. Alright, so there's the two contacts where it originally connected. Next will be the LED light that we're going to be taking out. You can see over here behind the switch. Let's see a switch. I don't know how clear that is. Alright, well, whatever. Behind the switch here, there's 3 wires connected to it. The light, right now it's in the off position, so coming from the battery here, you got your positive and your neutral. Neutral is connected to the other side of the light, and then positive here, you'll see from, well, maybe a little hard to see, but this right here at the bottom is always active. If we grab this, we should, oh no, yeah, that just completes the circuit there. Anyway, so that's active, that's positive. Once you move the on-off switch to the center, that completes the circuit to the LED light. When it goes all the way to the top, it has a little red light there that's wired into that, and then a little resistor there so that the light doesn't get blown out, and then your button here that it gets wired into. On the other end of this button, you got let's see here. Alright, you got the positive going into the mini transformer here, and then out of the transformer you have these 2 red wires that went up to the top of the taser, completing the circuit up top, causing the tase. I'll go ahead and turn this off. Alright, in the multi-tool I have scissors, so using those to just cut the wires, because they're not needed, not going to be light in it. I'm going to go ahead and snip it here, and then over at the controls. Alright, so LED light is out. Alright, now to bypass the switch altogether, which, you know, we're going to be taking that out, so we'll, might as well just go ahead and grab it here. Alright, like I had said, the switch, you can see here, switch is coming from the battery to the switch in the off position. Once it goes to the on, completes the circuit there, and then goes around into the button. From the button, it goes into the transformer. So really, to bypass all of this, we just need to wire together this positive here going into the switch, and the wire going out of the button into the transformer, just completing that circuit there. So it'll go straight from the battery to the transformer, and then out of the transformer into the out. You know, just eventually we'll get it to the gloves, but we're gonna get it first to the light switch. All right. Right now I'm gonna get the light switch ready because I don't want to have the taser active and, you know, juicing when I'm trying to wire it up to the light switch. I just don't want it sitting on the side active. So I'm gonna get the light switch ready and then mess with the taser to just wire that in, so I'll have control on whether or not it's, you know, gonna be on and off, and I'll know exactly where it's gonna arc out of. So I'm taking this power cord here, I'm just cutting the ends off. Got this other end here I'm gonna cut off. And then what I'm doing, I'm just making sure it's gonna be long enough to go from my waist up to my shoulder. If it's, you know, gonna be a little longer, I'll cut that access off. I know I'm gonna need a little bit more than that length, just for where the switch is gonna be wired into. I'm gonna put an enclosure around it so that the wires aren't exposed on the outside. But here we go. We're cut off both ends of the power cord, so we got 2 wires on the inside of there. We're gonna cut it down the middle and then strip the wires so that they're exposed. My multi-tool also has multiple knives, so I'm just gonna use this one. Works the best. Oh, yeah, that's smart. Digging an electrical object into exposed open taser. Let's try not to do that. Alright, cutting it down the center. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut these a little bit more and then strip them. Be right back. Alright, so I got the wire stripped right here. I'm going to go ahead and wire it into the back of the light switch. And all we're going to need is, you can see here, there's 2 screws on the side of the light switch. They're Phillips. So we're going to go to a multi-tool. Multi-tool needs some repair, so I'm going to use a flathead. I do not have a Phillips currently on it. Easiest way to do this is just to grab the tip and then curl it into a hook. That, go to this, your screw, and slide it under there. If the screw isn't high enough, just screw it a little bit more just to widen the gap. And then just hook it under there. See there, it's alright. I'm just going to screw it down and make sure it's snug. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the hot glue gun as well. I'm going to hot glue these contacts, just you know, peace of mind for myself. You know, I just don't want there to be any stray voltage or anything to fail where it arcs out past the switch or bypasses the switch, and, you know, someone just does not want that to happen. So the hot glue will just make sure it's not going to shouldn't go through the hot glue anyway. Almost got it. Alright, there that is, it's wired in, ready to go. Alright, I'm going to pause the video, let the hot glue gun heat up, and then we'll finish the switch. Alright, now it's ready. Just going to take here and a hot glue gun, just put hot glue all over the contact. Seal the entire area. All it takes is just a tiny pinhole for electricity to be able to go through. So it's very important to seal everything all around it. Alright, so that one's done. Also going to get under the wire. I'll do the black one. And again, behind the wire, just to make sure. Alright, so now those are pretty much covered. Okie dokie. Next thing. Oh, I guess I didn't, let's see if I'm going to use this. Yeah. Alright. Let's see here. We'll go back to the taser. First. Alright, just strip the other end, prep it, make sure it's ready. And then I'll be back. Alright, I forgot a little part of this since I'm doing this for my boss. I'm actually going to make it a little bit nicer, so I'm using it's a shrink wrap material that I'm going to go over, that's going to go over the wiring. I'm putting basically two wires, one that goes to the switch, because the on and off switch is actually, forgot about this, on and off switch is obviously just going to replace this on and off switch, and then so those wires are going to go out the front of the taser, and then we'll also need another set of wires to carry the actual current. So it's not actually, so again, you will control it from the taser itself. So putting both of these wires inside of a sleeve will just make it look like one wire, and just less wires to deal with. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. I put that shrink wrap material over a long rod, and I'm going to tape the wires to one end and just pull them through, just to make it easier. So I'll be right back while I'm doing that. Alright, I got the sleeve on. I was only able to go around one of the wires, which is fine. It's just added protection, I'd say, waterproofing the cable itself for when it's outdoors and being used. So I got it in there. Wires are stripped. Now I'm gonna grab the multi-tool, use the scissors again, and I'm gonna remove the button and the switch, on and off switch. So, and it's kind of important where you cut these. You want as much wire as you can possibly have. So I'm gonna cut it up here. That's leading from the battery to the button. Go ahead and pull the button out. It's no longer able to get power until I complete the circuit. So you can see here, this is a switch. When it's on, it sends power into the button. Let's see in the back here, looks like that might have came apart. That would have connected to the light. Or no, I'm sorry, light has its own little source right there. We're going to be taking that out as well. Anyway, you see the this red wire here that runs to the transformer. It's kind of wedged in between there, but that's the one that we're gonna want. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that one, and then just cut this down here. We just don't need that one anymore. Alright, so that's gone. Now what we're dealing with is the wire coming out of the battery to give the transformer power. I'm gonna wire those. I'm not gonna wire them together, because if I do that, it's just gonna turn the taser on indefinitely. You won't be able to turn it off. So this is where your stripped wires running to your light switch comes into play. So what I'm gonna do is strip these wires. These are very, very small wires. I have to be careful with it because you can break it easily, and you do not have a lot of wire there to work with. Alright. So this is the one running from the battery. Go ahead and try to strip this. Gotta be careful. Alright. That one is now stripped and still connected there. Now I'm gonna go to the one on the transformer. There, grab it on the bottom. The reason why I'm grabbing it on the bottom is so that I don't rip it out of the transformer itself. Alright. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm just going to hot glue this. The voltage is low, so it's not going to arc together by any means. So, and it also saves space. Because when you start using tape, it begins to take up a lot of room. Crap. Nope. Yeah. Redo. When I was gluing that together, the wires came apart. Ideally, you just want to twist them together so that they, you know that they're making good contact. Alright, so strip the glue off, and I'll go ahead and redo that there. Alright, so that's wired together. I'll go ahead and put some glue on this guy. Alright, I don't know if you heard that, but did that as a little test. I made the black wire connect to the red, completing the circuit. It made a high-pitched humming noise, so that means that the switch is on, which, you know, that's correct. I'm going to go ahead, turn it off, touch the wires again, see if I hear the noise. Nope. I'm going to turn the switch on. Perfect. Alright, so that lets me know also that what I hot glued in there, those wires, they're making a connection. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this side, the last side, and get bottom of it a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to hot glue the black and the red together, and that will be bypassing the switch there and the button so that it stays on for the duration that you have the switch on. Be right back. Alright, now that is done, I'll see you here. They're hot glued. excuse me. Hot glued together. Just get all the strings off of them. Alright, so they're good to go. Got the light switch right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And turn it off. Okay, now the light switch works. Only thing left to do with the light switch is break out these small pieces in here so that you can actually tuck this wire in the taser with it and have it come out the top where the light, the LED used to be. But I will do that later. Next thing to do is take these red wires which carry the current, the actual tase, and wire them into your second ball of wire that you have, or any other type of wire. So I already cut the ends off of the next set, and for this length you want it to go from the tip, well, I'd say to the middle of your palm all the way up to the your shoulder, where the switch is going to be placed for easy access. So I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-tool and cut that length, and then go ahead and strip the wires like we did the light switch. I'll be right back while I do that. Alright, I went ahead and split and stripped the ends of the wires that I'm needing. I'm going to go ahead with the taser off. You do this when it's on, you may get tased with whatever voltage you're working with. This is a 12 million volt taser, so I do not want to get hit by this. It sucks, I've gotten hit before, do not recommend it. Anyway, you're going to grab these wires from inside the taser underneath. You just pull them through the holes that they're going through. It's easy enough, they just come out. You should actually be able to strip the wire where looks like they attempted to melt it to the housing. So I'm just going to use both my needle nose and my pliers to get it apart. Alright, there's a few of them exposed there. May go back with my knife and try to expose a little bit more. The more you have contacting, the better. Try it this way here. Don't need a whole lot of wire to need a decent amount, but not a lot, because you actually do not have a lot of room to work with inside of these things. So alright, so that's exposed. Let's see. Yeah, it's about the same amount on both ends. Now if I were to turn the taser on and bring these two close together, that would arc. So I'm going to grab my stripped end, and I'm going to, the past taser gloves that I've made, I found it easier to actually hot glue the contacts on either end. So this one will get hot glued over here, this one hot glued on this side. Just glue them into the corner, out of the way, and then you can have the wire come out as such. Let me set this up. So I'm splitting it and then putting it in there. So that's where they'll be hot glued, in the corners there. And then this wire will come up, bend around the screw hole there, and then out the top with the other wire. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and this may take maybe a minute or two to get down. It's just, you know, you're working in a very tight space, and it's not very accommodating. So I'll be right back. Alright, so now I have the wiring hot glued into the taser itself. This goes to the switch. This is the what would be going into the glove. Alright, so just to show you what you should have at this point, I'm gonna turn this on and off. You'll see if you have any weakness in your this part right here, which you're about to see. It either means that one of your connections aren't that good and you need to redo that, or something's not touching. So this is what you should see. It should be what you would get right here between the contacts that were here, that were there up here. You're just redirecting the current to a different location. So this is what you should have. Alright. Let's see. Next, what I'm gonna do is start clearing ways so that I can actually close the taser up, because everything that I needed to do inside of it is now done. Everything else is gonna be external. Alright, so let's see here. I'm gonna thinking about breaking these plastic parts off on either side, and then super gluing hot glue the center where the light used to be, so that each wire has an independent way to come out. Yeah. Alrighty. And then after that, I'm gonna break off the plastic pieces on the side here that held the buttons and the switch, so that I could tuck this wire in, have it come out up here, and then this one just redirect it onto the side there. So I'll be right back once I'm done doing that. Alright. So I close the taser up, fit them in there. That's how it's gonna look. I've got the hole where the LED used to be, and these side holes here. I'm gonna fill that up with hot glue, and then at the very end I'm gonna dip it in Plasti Dip that you had seen earlier. 1 second here. Alright, sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be dipped in Plasti Dip. So let's get everything gathered up here. So this is what we have right now. The taser, 2 wires coming out. One goes to the light switch.